Howdy, this is Sailor the Piperman, Piper the Sailorman, coming to you from the island of Puerto Rico. I'm sorry to hear another individual died, right? What's his name? Charlie something? I never follow his politics, nor his rhetoric, nor his debating. And it's amazing how this individual grew. I knew he was very intelligent, very smart from the rhetoric and the way he debated other people. It's so sad that in America, right, you figure in a college campus is the place where you debate and it's a place of ideas, exchanging ideas. And all I could think was Archduke Ferdinand, who was assassinated I think in 1914, around there, and they began World War One. That's all I could think about. When they killed him, I thought about Archduke Ferdinand. Why? I have no idea. But, he was assassinated, and I see this as an assassination. Now, if it's a conspiracy, you're going to find the kid or the individual that did it dead. If this is a conspiracy, more than one person, I'm sure you'll find him dead. And if he's alone, somebody that did it on his own, is very well possible. Somebody who was mentally ill, demonically possessed or whatever, would want to kill somebody like him. I would check out everybody he did a debate with. Everybody he's had a debate with that's on film, I would check them out to see. I would also, as a detective, the last individual that asked him the question about all the violence, asked him before he got killed, there was an individual posing certain questions. I found it very weird. I check him out. Of course, I would have to check, backtrack to the previous debate he had, who was involved, who wasn't involved, things like that. I think this sends a strong message to Donald Trump. That's what I think this is about. This all goes back to Donald Trump. It all goes back to Donald Trump, Vance. And we're gonna see. But it's so sad. Now, people die all the time, right? But for some reason, this guy impacted a lot of people. A lot of people went to this to him debate. And obviously certain people came out and said he deserved to die. I don't understand how these people can come and he deserved to die because he has difference of opinion. I think this was more, he was just symbolic. It was a symbolic ritual of killing him as a way of sending a message to the right wing. This is something that right-wing extremists would do, but the leftists, so-called progressives, are actually doing stuff like this. It's the other way around. Usually the right wing, ultra right wing would do something like this. Now you got the radical left wing, woke or whatever agenda. These people have lost their freaking mind. And then anybody in the media that's kind of like applauding something like this should be immediately fired. Should be immediately fired. There's no place for this in America. And it's sad. It really is sad. Young man, wife, kid. Was he thinking of running for political office? I could see it. He didn't have much. He dropped out of school. So his whole purpose is building this and doing this. And I would like to have to sit down with his wife and try to find out what is his future. What was he trying to do with all he was doing? I don't understand going and debating all these people if you don't plan to do something constructive. I think he was way ahead of the game. you know, in how he did things. But it just goes to show you there's a lot of people unstable. And you and I, even with Pike, we have to be careful what we say and what we do, how we do it, and how we say it. You know, you can't go into a place thinking nobody's gonna. I'm so high profile that nobody's gonna want to hurt me. That's not the case. Somebody could just have it out for you, man. You don't even know why. Have you ever been in school and there's a bully and he just picks on you because he picks? I've had that experience. Guy just didn't like the way I look and didn't like my mannerism, and he was on me until I had to stand up for myself. He had no reason but to bully. He just picked on me. Never talked to him, nothing. He just came after me. And there are actually people like that don't love your existence and they're willing to do whatever. Well, one thing about this, I am so glad it's not a racial issue. You know, and people say, well, you know, after finding out 73 million babies are aborted annually, I look at that, one life. But okay, we sorry for his death, but nobody's saying anything about all these babies dying around the world. 73 million babies dying. You know, we find sympathy in certain things, and in some other things we'll just, you know, nonchalantly don't even think about it. And we need to bring back the sacredness of life. We've lost that. I grew up in the age of Mother Nature, treating Mother Nature right, or treat you, do not pollute, you know, Smokey the Bear. You could prevent forest fire. I was brought up in a time where you wanted the environment, you wanted to help in ecology, and we've lost all that. You know, we constantly throwing bombs and bombing, killing. And some people are just like, you know, he got out there, he pissed somebody off, and now he's dead. He's a martyr. Yeah, when you believe in Christ, when you see something like that, you gotta wonder, should a Christian person should even be involved in politics? Jesus wasn't involved, nor was his disciples. And I wonder that. I wonder if you know, he was a Christian. A Christian should be involved politically like that. I don't know. What do you think? This is Sailor the Piper Man, Piper the Sailor Man signing off.